Hello everyone and welcome to the Wolfside channel. Henrik dropped some infos about the adrenaline system, finally. This is also the anti-Zerg mechanic and it's meant for smaller groups, for example. I personally think this is hard to balance and hard to implement without anyone abusing this to death. But this is another topic. But let's hear Henrik's statement first, and then I will say something to that. If you hear some noises, these are not my noises. These were noises from Henrik's stream. I bet his girlfriend was watching TV, or I don't know.
You know, I've talked about, if you remember, the adrenaline system I talked about in Dimension. And all of a sudden, when I went through these two systems, it makes sense that they works together. They tie together. They works as one system. So what I mean here is that the adrenaline system was supposed to have help small single players to also battle Zergs and adding more options and skills to the gameplay. And all of a sudden I see where, hey, that fits with the special moves. So very roughly now, if you imagine that if you take damage, you take hits, you have an adrenaline meter that goes up quickly. If you pass damage, you gain a little bit. So that means if you fight outnumbered, you're gonna have more adrenaline rush than your opponents because, you know, they're chill, they're 2 against 1. You're fighting for your life because you're outnumbered. It makes sense your adrenaline rush goes through the roof, right? And when you get that additional adrenaline on your meter, you can distribute, you can use this adrenaline for some different things, like you can utilize them on special moves. So you can obviously use those special moves more frequently than your opponents with less adrenaline. And you can use that adrenaline to get a little rush, like faster stamina rush, little burst of energy. If you use that wisely, you could have, you know, you can utilize being outnumbered. You see what I mean? So all of a sudden it makes sense to tie the special moves into this system. So if you're in a battle, you take a lot of damage, you pass a lot of damage, you're gonna be able to use those special moves a lot and constant, pretty much. But if you're in a one-on-one duel, you know, it may be a little bit more reserved. You can use them a few times. You have to choose which one you use and time them perfectly. So that's kinda what the design is looking at right now. When I've gone through them a few times and refining them, that it kind of makes sense that they fits together. So if you see what I mean here, so that is the special move now. It ties with the adrenaline system. It's the one and same currently on design. So yeah, obviously we're gonna when we decide and have scheduled this, we're gonna put that on test as well. So you will help us to test the crap out of it and get it in a proper balance and make sure that they're all useful, right? We don't want a special ability for one weapon group that are a waste, and we don't obviously want one that are so powerful that everyone goes that weapon group. So we plan to add that also in a public test round session where you're focused on only that or mainly that. And we want to try to get that in a good position and then push that live.
I don't want to be the asshole in the room, but I have some concerns. I have really some concerns about the whole idea in general. Because when I know something about Mortal Online, then everything they implement will be abused to hell. Everything you can use to your advantage, people will use it. And just for example, if I get an adrenaline buff when I'm fucking outnumbered, what is the point then? Then for example, people would run around when you are, for example, running around in a 5-man group, and then you have the same guild. Then you would also leave your guild. You would also delete your friends from the friend list. Then you are running around as 5 individuals who maybe even then get an adrenaline buff, or I don't know how this will then work. And then you meet a Zerg of 5 people or 10 people, and then you get an adrenaline bonus. If you encounter, for example, 5 other players that are in a guild, then you have an adrenaline buff because you are outnumbered or what. I really can't imagine how this would work. I mean, you could implement whatever rules, but it wouldn't work, in my opinion, because you can always abuse that. I mean, currently I have no solution in my mind. What would be a system that no one can abuse? Really? Maybe you have an idea. That would be fucking awesome, by the way. I mean, yeah, many people want an anti-Zerg mechanic. I totally get that. But the main thing is it should be a mechanic that can't be abused. Because otherwise people will, I don't know, running around, not in the guild, running around maybe 50 meters away or whatever, then the buff counts or the buff counts not. Or if you got hit, for example, from a random player, for example, you are in your guild with, I don't know, 10 people, you are riding around, and then you have one guildmate who is not in the guild, but is hitting you, just that he gets the adrenaline buff, or vice versa. For example, you're running around in a 5-man guild group, and then you have 5 other people that are not in your guild and are also there and getting then the adrenaline buff, but still are fighting with you. I mean, there's so much abuse in the system. There would be so much abuse in the system itself. I don't know how this should work. I don't know if this ever gonna work. I don't know. And I really hope that Star Wars will get a very solid solution for that. Because this is a fucking complicated mechanic. How should you implement that? And when do you get an adrenaline buff and when not? And stuff like that. This is very, very important. But it's perfect that Henrik said that they will test it first and will give us on the test server first before they will implement that stuff. I mean, yeah, this is great news, by the way, but because in the old times for Mortal on 1 they would just fucking implement it and then would be thrown feedback at them. I mean, there also could be some possible solutions. Just for example, if you're playing a long time beside someone, then it counts as a friend. For example, even if the guy is not in the guild or whatever, then it's counted to that Zerg. Or to that group, if you're standing, I don't know, 5 minutes very close to each other. But then people would also abuse that and maybe riding 50 meters behind, or I don't know. But in the whole general thing, maybe there's a solution out there for this problem, but I highly doubt that, because other games would have implemented such a system long time ago, because Zerging in games is sometimes fun, sometimes not fun. But I mean, the whole point of a Zerg, for example, in Mortal, is it takes a lot of organization. It takes a lot of time of a lot of people and stuff to getting, I don't know, 50 armored people somewhere to really be organized and getting shit done. This takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and this is why these Zergs exist. But if you counter that mechanic, then you are I don't know. Then it wouldn't make sense if you go on a roaming tour and just having for example a few friends. You have a few friends with you, and you want to go on a PvP roaming tour with 20 people, and then 3 of your friends are coming, but they are shit in PvP. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They could just come along and play play with us, for example. But if an anti-Zerg mechanic system is there, then you only need the elite fighters. You only need the very good PvP fighters, and everyone else you wouldn't take along to a PvP roaming tour, because why should you? You are fucked. You are then completely fucked. And yeah, that is my concern here, you know. But maybe you have a solution. Maybe you have a very nice solution. I don't know. Maybe Henrik has a very nice solution already in his head. I don't know. So please leave a like and subscribe, would be fucking awesome, and ring the bell. And thanks to all the supporters, of course: Carmel, Professor Lukario, Slump Gaming, Giovanni, Vargas, Rhonus, Paarthurnax, Cologne, Bulldog, you, and all the others, of course. And never forget to Zerg hard. I mean, party hard. See you all next time. Goodbye.